Hello, my name is Egan Oliver, and this is my presentation of the Spanish-American War. So, the Spanish-American War was an armed conflict between Spain and the United States in 1898. On February 15th, 1898, a mysterious explosion sank the battleship USS Maine in the Havana harbor, which initially started the war between the Spanish and the United States. The USS Maine had been sent to Cuba to protect the American citizens, while the Cuban revolutionaries were fighting to win independence from Spain. America had gone to war against Spain to help free Cuba from the Spanish domination, but the war provided the United States sought an opportunity to seize the overseas possessions and wanted to start building an American empire. What officially started the war was on February 15th, 1898, the mysterious explosion that sank the battleship USS Maine that we just talked about started a war between the Spanish and the United States. And this was the USS Maine. The United States got involved in the war between Spain and Cuba because the United States supported Cuba, and once the USS Maine had sunk, the United States had demanded that Spain give Cuba their freedom and to leave them be. But Spain refused and initiated a war between them and the United States. So, the United States accepted this and joined in on the war. The United States immediately sent Commodore George Dewey and his men into position in the Philippines, and Commodore Winfield Scott Schley and his men into Santiago Bay to get ready for the war and set up their bases. The United States had claimed that it had no designs on Cuba, but many believed we joined in the war to seize an opportunity to conquer and seize many overseas possessions and to start building the American empire. What the United States got from the war. The United States has now entered an era of overseas expansion. To win the war in Cuba, the United States had to defeat the Spanish Navy. The Spanish Admiral Pascual Cervera concentrated his small squadrons in Santiago Bay to help protect the Spanish forts. The United States Navy Commodore Winfield Scott Schley had managed to trap the Spanish squadron. The American land forces had begun to attack the city from the northern quadrant on July 1st, 1898. The Spanish Admiral Pascual Cervera was ordered to break out of the harbor to save his ships, but he failed, and all of his ships were blown to pieces. The Spanish had lost their way on the water. And this is what the America had gotten from the war. These are a few images from the war. That's one of them, and here's the other one. The end of the Spanish-American War. The fall of Santiago Bay happened on July 17, 1898, and it convinced the Spanish to concede defeat in Cuba. Following the victory and defeat of the Spanish, the person who had achieved the greatest public attention was not General Shafter, but a flamboyant Rough Rider who had charged up the San Juan Hill, went by the name of the United States' 26th President, Mr. Theodore Roosevelt. Theodore Roosevelt had become president after the assassination of William McKinley in 1901. The Spanish-American War officially ended just 4 months later. Then, the United States and the Spanish government signed the Treaty of Paris on December 10, 1898. After from guaranteeing the independence of Cuba, the treaty also forced Spain to cede Guam and Puerto Rico to the United States. And this was Santiago Bay. So the Spanish-American War was basically just something it was very important to the United States. We needed it to help Cuba get their freedom, and we also started our overseas expansion into other countries. And that is it. Thanks for watching.